Hello everybody. Oh, let me just lighten this up. It's annoying. So today's video is about one of my kind of rights being taken away. Right, so in this area, there's about 3 convenience shops that I've got coffee machines. Now I know it's a little thing, and it will come to fruition in a bit where I address how I complained about what I'm about to tell you now, and about how a bunch of people started going on at me saying, oh, first world problems and stuff like that, and making fun of me pretty much because I complained about this. But there's 3 convenience stores with coffee machines, and 2 of them have Costa coffee machines, and 1 of them have a Lavazza coffee machine. Now I prefer the Lavazza because A, it tastes better, and B, it's actually cheaper. The Costa machines are, the Costa coffee is more expensive, and I don't think it's as nice a coffee. I think it's too, watered down. It is kind of nice-ish, it has a nice flavour, but it's more watered down, it's more strong, which I don't really like. I prefer, a more creamier, frothier coffee, which Lavazza seems to be. It's just thicker, creamier, frothier, just the taste is more mild. It's just absolutely gorgeous, in my opinion. But the one and only place where I can get a Lavazza coffee from is now going to be turning into a Morrison's. And with that, not only is the store going to change to a Morrison's, but the machine is going to change to a Costa instead of a Lavazza, which it does annoy me a bit, because I'm thinking there's already 2 places I can go if I want a coffee, if I want a Costa, and if anybody else wants a Costa, because everyone keeps raving about Costa. So if I or anybody else wanted a Costa, there's 2 places we can go to. But there's only 1 place for people who don't like Costa to go to, and that was the Co-op with the Lavazza machine. But now that one little, it's a little thing, but I thought people used to always say about how, it's the little things that matter. The little things are actually bigger than you think and everything. And it's just this little sort of, freedom being taken away from me. It's you can only get Costa now. You can't get anything else. So it's tough shit if you don't like Costa. That's what it says to me. Now, it's not the actual people. I don't really blame the people because, they have a contract with Costa and blah, blah, blah. It's not like they're actually saying that. But it's the people who reacted, because I posted it on Facebook, to sort of protest a little bit, hoping that the Co-op people would see it, or the Morrison's people would see it, and they would sort of think, somebody prefers the Lavazza, so we'll keep the Lavazza machine. I don't know. Or the boss will, make sure that they keep the Lavazza machine. With my 2 points being that there's already 2 Costas in the area, and, it's more expensive, so somebody wants to get a cheaper coffee that's different, we'll keep that one because there's already 2 in the area, and somebody wants to save money. So, I thought it was a reasonable complaint. I didn't think it was, but there was quite a lot of comments saying, oh, this must be a joke, and there was 3 or 4 that said similar things to that. Oh, it's gotta be a joke. Oh, is this a joke? And then a bunch of people saying, oh, first world problems, and oh, there's people starving in Africa, and oh, there's loads of homeless people, and you just going about coffee, and it's loads of people complain about little things. For God's sake, how come it's only okay for other people to go on about the little things, but it's not okay when I do it? Loads of people complain about the little things. And as I said earlier, it's the little things that count because they can lead up to bigger things. For instance, I kind of feel like my likes and dislikes aren't taken into consideration because these people all said, oh, I love Costa, and oh, long live Costa, and oh, it's the best. They were just to make a point. They were just saying, they probably hate Costa, but they said that just to make a point, just to piss me off, I guess. But I don't even know why people like Costa, because it is just rank coffee. My mum explained to me that the reason why people like things like Costa is because they're just pretentious, and it's a more trendy coffee, and they only like it because it's the trend, and they know everybody else says they like it, so they also jump on the bandwagon and say they like it too. Even if it's a horrible thing, lots of people will jump on the bandwagon and say it was great because it's expensive, it's more posh. So if they're bothered about stuff like that, like me coming across like I'm not bothered about the bigger, more pressing issues and I'm only bothered about a coffee, then they're doing the same thing. They're actually kind of contributing to the problem, because they're kind of, instead of saying what they think and being truthful that they don't like Costa, they're just jumping on the bandwagon for the sake of a trend. So anybody who doesn't like it has to suffer. And I thought, I thought this new modern, I don't know what it's called, is it democracy or something? Like where everybody has a say or something. I thought we were supposed to be a democracy now, whereby we can sort of like choose for ourselves, so we don't have to go along with what the majority are doing and be a sheep. We can sort of speak up and say, right, well, we don't like Costa. We, the minority, prefer Lavazza. So can't we at least have one Lavazza coffee machine in the area? You've already got two. It's like, come on, man. I think isn't that called kind of like an equity? It's kind of like, I know it's not like exactly like it, but I know it's like kind of like it, because it's sort of like, well, there's loads of what everybody else likes. Can't the minority just have one? Can't we just have one choice for us? I don't know. I mean, there's loads of, if I was in power, if I had any kind of power at all, there's loads I would change. Like, one thing that I would do, again, it's a little thing, but I would make at least there be like one cafe that was open really late for night owls, because I stand up for the little people. The little people, freedom. The little people meaning it's kind of like people who are lesser known or a minority. So the minority at the minute, of course, are people who like anything but Costa, and the minority are people who like are night owls like me, and furries, and people who dress different, and I don't know, just people who like something different or live a different way, and they kind of need to be catered to as well. So for instance, I would make sure that in every area there was at least one cafe that stayed open really late for us night owls. I know the majority seem to be early birds who go to bed at like 6 o'clock at night and get up at 6 o'clock at night. But there are night owls as well who go to bed late and get up late. And I know that the catering for the majority, and they're just, their logic is, well, you stop being a night owl. The truth is, night owls can't stop being night owls, because it's actually it's actually dangerous. And the reason for this is because there are certain people who have a different circadian rhythm to everyone else. I think that's the right word. So it depends on your circadian rhythm as to whether you're a night owl or an early bird. It just seems like night owls are in the wrong because they seem to be the minority. And the majority, or at least the more well-known, are the early birds. So in the early birds logic, it's like, well, you just get up early and go to bed early, and then you'll be able to go to a cafe. Or, you should stop liking Lavazza coffee and start liking Costa, because, we think we're right and you're wrong. Again, I know it's a little thing, but it just irks me the way those people responded to my Facebook post. And it's like that with every one of my Facebook posts. In my book, they make sense, but to everyone else, they're just like catty and petty and just nasty about these things, even though they make sense. Because at one point I made a point about, I was trying to make the point that fat was beautiful and skinny is overrated. And I got a couple of lectures about like that, as if I was body shaming. Actually, my point was that the majority seemed to favour skinny and hate fat. So I was doing the opposite. I was doing the opposite, where I was kind of like, oh, fat is, fat rules and skinny rules. It was just a point I was making, because no one goes up in arms when people say that skinny is good and fat's bad. So again, when I try and do the reverse, it's suddenly like you're a shit, Like, I'm just trying to make a point. And it was the same with the coffee situation. I was trying to make a point that there's already a lot of what everybody else likes, apparently. But, you know, for those who prefer a different thing, is now going to not be. And I wanted at least one shop to have that one thing that I liked, because the majority don't. All I ask is one. It's like the only place that does the noodles I like is Morrison's. But I'm sure this little shop isn't going to do it, because it's only a little shop being turned into a Morrison's. And as you know, I've been banned from Morrison's, so now I can't get the noodles. It's kind of not fair. Like, it would be okay if more shops did those noodles, but no. So all I ask is like one, just have to be able to have one thing that I want. And I don't know, I think I'm entitled to sort of stand up for what I want. Like, I would be part of the problem if I was to just stay silent and just not speak up about it. The point I'm trying to make is that it always starts with a little thing. It's a little problem. Maybe only one person has a problem with it, or a few people. I don't know of anybody else who's having a problem with it, just me. And a lot of people who realise this would probably go, oh, well, nobody else would be on my side, so there's no point in me trying to fight for it or whatever. And that's the problem. Like, a lot of people will fold and cave because they think they're the only ones. But in truth, there's probably loads of people who prefer the Lavazza. But they probably don't say anything because, like, that point I've just made, that it'd be like there's no point. So I guess I feel like I'm responsible. Like my mum was going on about responsible before. I feel responsible to speak up for the little people who might not think that their problems are an issue enough to talk about them and stand up for them and try and make a change. So it seems like a really small issue that they're going to change a Lavazza coffee machine to a Costa coffee machine, or that there are no cafes that stay open late, or whatever. Like, these things just seem like little problems, and no, there's solutions to that. Like, oh yeah, you know, if you're a night owl, just go to bed earlier and get up earlier. It's like, no, it's not that simple. You could die. I don't think you could die, but it could mess you up. And it could maybe shorten your life, who knows? Like, maybe it messes your body up so much, maybe it does shorten your life. Who knows? I don't know. Like, I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but I do know that it is dangerous for someone who's a night owl to just do a drastic change like that. They'd have to do it very gradually, and it is actually a lot harder than people think. I have tried it for many years. I did succeed at one point, but I went back into my old habits. It's very easy to go back and slip. So I would rather I'm not going to say the whole world change to suit my being a night owl, but I'd at least like to have one thing for me. Just like, oh, the whole world doesn't have to swap out Costa machines for the coffee I like machines, like Lavazza. I'm just asking for one. That's all. That is the point I'm making, just one. For us minorities, I just want one. The minorities who like Lavazza. The minorities who are night owls. The minority that are, I don't know. I want to think of other examples right now, but I think I've made my point. Oh, the skinny thing. The skinny and fat thing. It's like with the skinny and fat thing, the reason why that is bad is because a lot of fat people get shamed, and that's not fair. And in everybody's eyes, it's just like, oh, just lose weight, you know. Like, lose weight and then you'll stop being bullied or made fun of or whatever. It's like, apparently, I didn't even know this, but apparently people get very angry when they see a fat person because they think, oh, that person's taking up a lot of space. And it's like, and they get mad because there are people who do accommodate, like hospitals and shops that accommodate for fat people by making the chairs bigger, and like the ambulance is bigger and the bed's bigger and stuff like that. And they get pissed. They say, well, we shouldn't have to cater to fat people. They should just lose weight. And again, it's not that simple to lose weight. It is actually